their cows come home that they're actual racists, but I hear them. They are. They really are, I guess, unconsciously racist. How would you describe it?
But I don't know. I think that if you genuinely don't think that you are racist, then you're not, because that's not in your mind. It's not what's motivating.
But do you think
now,
that's
there could
right?
be people.
See, on that
I think
point,
maybe what you're talking.
I would slightly pick you up on that, because I know people who may not think they're racist, but they definitely say stuff that is racist. They're judging people negatively from their skin color.
I think you could have someone who is racist and denies it.
You guys, sometimes Piers Morgan can agree with us on some things, but there's still many things that his former woke opinions, they still creep up into his daily content. And here is a great example, and Matt Walsh brilliantly dismantles it. And this one, of course, is about racism, this woke racist idea. Anyways, without further ado, let's just get straight into the madness.
Any less power for them.
I also think this whole thing of microaggressions that you talk about in the film is really interesting, because so many people are aware that they've got to be more careful perhaps in the way they talk and so on and so on. And they try really hard. I'm talking about older generation people perhaps who never had to give this much thought. And they're really keen to try and say the right thing. And these microaggressions, where are you from? Where were you?
Please like this video if you hate the term microaggressions. Please also subscribe. I post 2 new videos every single day, and comment an orange heart for the algorithm. Let's get back to it.
Born? Do you speak good English? This was the University of Minnesota. These are all deemed microaggressions. You're Asian, how come you're not good at maths? University of Edinburgh. I don't see color. National Education Association, because apparently denies a person's of color's racial, ethnic experiences. I mean, it's all just garbage. Unless it's intended in a derogatory way or a sneering manner, none of those things are aggressive. They're just questions people would ask. I mean, the whole royal family row, for example, about the potential skin color of Prince Harry's son, Archie, was apparently based around one of the members of the royal family saying, given Meghan Markle's parents, one's white, one's black, what skin color could the baby be? That's not a microaggression. It's not an aggression of any kind, unless the question was delivered, I hope it's not going to be too dark. That's a microaggression. That's racism. But to simply say, by the way, given the parents are different colors, what color might the baby? What's wrong with that? Why wouldn't every family in that position ask that question?
Right. I mean, and a lot of this stuff, asking someone where they're from, as you pointed out, is just that's just showing an interest in someone, that's being polite.
Right.
But part of this is that it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. They set it up so it's a lose-lose, because with many of these so-called microaggressions, well, the thing, if you do the thing, you're racist, you're microaggressive. But if you don't do it, you could also be racist, because, if you don't recognize that someone's from a different culture and you don't acknowledge it at all, well, now you've otherized them, you've excluded them, you've made them feel like they don't exist or something. You haven't affirmed their existence. You haven't taken an interest in their culture. That could also be racist. Really, it just depends on that person. It's like, how do they perceive it? Do they want you to ask, or do they not want you to ask? And you're supposed to know that going in.
Right.
And if you do the wrong thing, then it's automatically racist, apparently.
One of the criticisms you've had is this whole concept of unconscious bias and so on, that actually a lot of people who are genuinely racist don't think they're racist. I mean, that is a real phenomenon, right? I know people who say racist stuff who would deny till their cows come home that they're actual racists, but I hear them. They are. They really are, I guess, unconsciously racist. How would you describe it?
I mean, what about the people on the left, the people that are so anti-racist that they're actually racist, that they literally hate white people and want to punish white people for the crimes of their ancestors past, or alleged ancestors past, even though the black people of today were not the slaves and the white people of today were not the slave owners, but they still want to get, they want to get their little, what's it called, reparation check. Sorry, forgot what that was called real quick, a little brain thoughts. That's pretty gross to say. Let's just get back to it. This bitch needs to shut the F up.
But I don't know. I think that if you genuinely don't think that you are racist, then you're not, because that's not in your mind. It's not what's motivating
But do you think
now,
that's
there could
right?
be
See,
people,
on that
I think
point,
maybe what you're talking.
I would slightly pick you up.
No, I would actually think that if you constantly have race on your mind, then you're probably racist. And no, I don't think making racist jokes makes you racist either, okay? We can have fun with stereotypes about different races, about different identities, about everything, quite frankly. I like dark humor. I like to make offensive jokes. It's okay. It doesn't mean I think differently about certain people. Stop being woke little crybabies, okay?
Up on that, because I know people who may not think they're racist, but they definitely say stuff that is racist. They're judging people negatively from their skin color.
I think you could have someone who is racist and denies it. That certainly can happen. I mean,
By the way, I do want to point out that there are some differences between the races, and that's okay. That doesn't make you racist. And there's also very big differences between different cultures, and that also does not make you racist. Pointing out facts doesn't make you racist.
racist people in the world of all colors, of all races, by the way. Anyone can be racist. And
sorry to keep interrupting it, but people on the left literally think it's impossible for a black person to be racist. But when you look at polling, it actually says the most racist group of people are black people against white people. So
certainly some of them will deny that they are. Like, that is a thing that happens, sure. But the point is that there's only one authority. There's only one person in the universe who's an authority on what's in your mind. There's only one person who can really speak to that authoritatively, and that is you. And so if you genuinely don't feel any animosity to people based on their race, then you're not racist. You might have you have many other flaws, I'm sure. You might even believe things stereotypically about races, but that's not racist in and of itself. And you're the only one who could speak to that. So if someone tells me they're not racist, then I'll just take them at their word on that. I'm not interested. I can't read their mind, and that's all that we can do. And then I'm just going to go on and live my life. I mean, I think that's the best way to approach most of this.
Do you think America's becoming less racist decade by decade by?
And also, guys, I want to point out that, okay, let's say someone's racist. Who cares? Move on with your life. Don't you have more pressing issues to be concerned with going on in your everyday life? Like, who freaking cares? There's so many people that say the most vile things about me, my family, my daughter, my way of life, everything, and they don't bother me. It's okay. I keep living day to day because what's important to me is my family, God, and what's in front of me, not what people who hate me have to say. That's okay. If you agree, like this video.
A decade?
I think we kind of talk about in the movie that, in the 90s, and the 90s was not a racial utopia in the United States. I realize that OJ, race riots, that sort of thing did happen. But I will say that just anecdotally, growing up in the 90s, very, very quite diverse area, going to public school and all that, a lot of different races. It was not a major focus. And I think that we're I do think we're going backwards in a lot of ways, that it's now there's a resentment, there's a suspicion there to a much greater degree. 15, 20 years ago. And again, this is all engineered. I think this is all quite intentional.
The George Floyd murder features in the film, obviously. The reaction to that was extraordinary, unprecedented. Could you see good and bad in that reaction?
Hard to see any good in it. I saw a lot of bad. I mean, I saw.
Yeah, you don't say, Matt Walsh.
Whole communities being burned down. I saw innocent people being victimized en masse across the country. I saw just people losing it was hysteria. I mean, what we saw was mass hysteria.
Yep.
And the response to that incident was not even close to reasonable. There's not any kind of reasonable conversation about it from the very beginning.
Yeah, please like this video and comment down below and subscribe. It really does all help the channel out because YouTube suppresses channels that have my sort of conservative opinion rather than the left. But yeah, please do all those things if you agree with what Matt Walsh is saying. The response to St. Floyd, R.I.P. St. Floyd, finally sober, amazing, proud of you, St. Floyd. But the response to that was insane, and there was no good from it.
And I don't think anything good came of it. And that in and of itself is not responsible alone for a lot of the racial insanity we see today, because a lot of it was already happening. I mean, BLM existed years prior to that, but it certainly didn't help. I think that's for sure.
This just has me wondering, guys, like, do you think racism, like the idea of racism, is it continuing to get worse, or like race relations in America continuing to get worse? I would say it arguably started when Obama became president in 2008. He claimed to be the president that would unify Americans, but that's when there was a microscope, is that the right word? Yeah, it was highlighted. There was an emphasis on the differences between Black and white Americans, and so many issues arose from that. So many people were talking about race and looking at everything through a racial lens, way more so than before. So please let me know what you guys think about the current state of racism in America. Do you guys feel like America is getting more united? Do you think things are getting better under Trump, or as Trump's about to be inaugurated? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you comment an orange heart. It does boost the video in the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos. See, I'm still not racist. I just said adios, amigos. Come on. Bye.